Hello, everyone, and welcome to Finer Tune. Actually, I'm kind of finer dressed today, um, except for, the Kiss hat, of course, which can only mean one thing. That means we're about to do another Kiss album review. Which one is that? Well, what else would it be? This is the third review, therefore it would be the third album. I'm wearing a suit, they're wearing suits. Dressed to Kill is the album. Now, if you look at this cover, look real close right there, you can see that Gene Simmons, the suit that he's wearing, doesn't fit him. Why is that? Because that suit was borrowed from their manager, not Neil Acoin, Bill Acoin. Neil Bogart, Neil Bill, all right, fine. Bill Acoin is who they borrowed the suits from. Neil Bogart was the president of Casablanca Records, which, by the way, they were the first act signed to. They were the flagship band here. Now that we've got that all straightened out, if you look at this cover, Peter Criss's suit fits really nicely. Some sources say that he owned a suit, which would make sense because he was known as a snappy dresser. Other sources say that all of the suits were borrowed. According to Gene Simmons, Paul Stanley's suit may have been his own, may have been borrowed. He didn't remember, and this was a fairly recent interview, so, we're looking at almost 50 years later when he's saying this. Ace's suit, it fits pretty well. Little bit short on the pants right here, as you can see, but that could be because this leg is up. Who knows? One of the best things about this album cover, though, the back. Look at that photo negative. How cool is that? Yeah, that's just great. I mean, this whole album cover shows that they've got kind of a sense of humor about themselves. They don't take themselves too seriously. Actually, the story behind that is they were doing a photo shoot based around a story. I believe it was for Cream magazine, but the story goes that they were just these, nice, mild-mannered guys working in the office, and they heard about like a John Denver type. It wasn't specifically John Denver. They made up a fictitious name, but that type of music was coming into town, and they had to save the world by becoming rock stars and going out and showing the world how to rock and roll. So, in the photo shoot, you also see them go into a phone booth, in their suits, and then they come out in they're just wild outfits that they were known for at the time. So that's where that comes from. Enough about the album cover, though. Let's delve into the songs now, shall we? All right, we're going to kick it off with the opening track on the album. This is a song written by Paul Stanley. It's called Room Service. The lyrics are fantastic. It's got a great visual. It's really three different stories in one. The overall life of a rock star, at the airport, in a hotel, back in his hometown, because of the visual of the lyrics, that gets a 5 out of 5. The vocals, Paul is really coming into his own as a vocalist right here. You can hear him starting to evolve, and the harmony vocals are right there. I mean, just amazing, just like they have been on the previous two albums that I did. 5 out of 5 on the vocals. The drums, the beat is fun, and it is impossible to not to air drum along with it. You didn't see that. Pretend you never saw that. I barely know about these guitars behind me, and I know absolutely nothing about the drums. You didn't see that one either. Fun beat, impossible not to air drum with it. 5 out of 5 on the drums. By the way, you didn't see that third one either. None of that happened. The bass, it's easy to hum along with the bass on this song or sing along with it, whatever. It's got some great little nuances going on. Once again, 5 out of 5. The rhythm guitar, it's kind of 50s, early 60s inspired, which is fantastic because that's what inspired these guys. You know, I mean, 50s, the early Beatles, you know, Rolling Stones, all that kind of stuff. It's got a great riff to it. 5 out of 5 on the rhythm guitar. The lead guitar solo is just absolutely perfect for this song. So you've got you get 5 out of 5 on the lead guitar as well. So this album opens up with a 30 out of 30. How cool is that? We get a perfect song right off the bat. Absolutely fantastic opening. Next up, we've got a song written by Gene Simmons called Two Timer. Now, Two Timer, the lyrics are good, but they're kind of repetitive. Maybe it could use another verse. It's got a very early Beatles inspiration to it, but kind of in reverse, if you know what I mean. Early Beatles, she loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. I want to hold your hand. I saw her standing there. You know, basically, I'm falling in love with this girl. Whereas in Two Timer, it's kind of in reverse. It's like, all right, I'm in love with this girl, but she's out with someone else. And so, being a two-timer, and it would be perfect, except that it's a little bit repetitive and could use another verse, I think. 4 out of 5. The vocals, the lead vocal is solid, but there's something not quite perfect about it. I can't quite put my finger on, but the harmonies are perfect, so that kind of salvages the vocals. 4 out of 5. The drums, absolutely perfect for the song. The fills are fantastic. Great job on the drums. No, I'm not going to do that again because you don't have to air drum along with this one. 5 out of 5. The bass. If you've ever needed proof that Gene Simmons is highly underrated as a bassist, go listen to this song. You can hear it. The bass is the highlight of this song. It's just fantastic. He gets a 5 out of 5. The rhythm guitar, it's got a very Stones influenced riff, I think is what it sounds like to me. Once again, a 5 out of 5. And the lead guitar. There's some great licks. The solo fits perfectly. It's not overplayed. It's not underplayed. If you're hearing any of that in the background, the cats are psychotic. Yes, I have cats. Multiple. They're psychotic. Anyway, the solo fits. It's not overplayed, not underplayed. Some great licks going on. 5 out of 5. Which gives Two Timer a total score of 28 out of 30. So not quite perfect, but very close, and a couple of minor little tweaks would make it perfect. Next up is a song called Ladies in Waiting. This one is also written by Gene Simmons, who also sings lead on it. The lyrics, not bad, but not a whole lot of substance to them. And sometimes you get that with a Gene Simmons written song. It's all right. He gets a 3 out of 5. The vocals, his vocal on this is absolutely perfect. And the harmonies, once again, you've heard me say it before, you're going to hear me say it in the future, the harmonies are perfect. 5 out of 5 on the vocals. The drums are really good. I like the fills going on here. Once again, as in on on previous albums. Peter Criss's jazz roots are really showing up here. Perfect, not quite, very close. 4 out of 5. The bass, brilliant. It drives the song along. It's just fantastic. He gets a 5 out of 5. The rhythm guitar, it's standard rock and roll, which straightforward. You gotta love that. You gotta love and respect that. The influences are showing through brilliantly. 5 out of 5. Lead guitar, little subtleties going on there in the verse and the chorus. The great solo. There's also a solo on the outro, which is a bit different. 5 out of 5. So we get a 27 out of 30 for Ladies in Waiting. So, the songs are kind of slowly slipping down a little bit here, but they're still great. So, no complaints so far other than the lyrics on that song. Let's see what the next song does for us, though. Is this going to bring us up a little bit? Probably, yeah. Getaway, written by Ace Frehley, sung by Peter Criss. And the lyrics are very solid. There's some good imagery. Ace is a good songwriter, but he's not always the best lyricist. The lyrics are good, but there's a little something that he could have done different to make it perfect. I'm not sure what that is. 4 out of 5. The vocals? This song was just written for Peter Criss, whether Ace meant that or not. It was. It was perfect for his vocals, and once again, the harmonies are flawless. Some people have said they would have liked to have heard Ace sing this song, or maybe Paul Stanley. No, perfect for Peter Criss. 5 out of 5 on the vocals. The drums, they fit the groove. A lot of fun. Some really great fills going on here. 5 out of 5 on the drums. The bass. Now, I've heard that Ace Frehley actually played the bass on this song. Is that true? I don't know for sure. I wouldn't doubt it, but I don't know. I wouldn't doubt if it was Gene as well. But it's almost another rhythm guitar, and it ties everything in. It's fantastic. 5 out of 5 on the bass. The rhythm guitar, it's got a fantastic, fun riff. I'd like to sing the riff to you, but you don't want to hear that. Trust me on that. Go listen to the song. Just the way that guitar comes in the beginning. 5 out of 5. Lead guitar. Fantastic solo. Almost like it was specifically written for Ace. Well, I mean, he did write the song, so yeah, it probably was specifically written for Ace. A lot of his soloing techniques, his signature techniques. Great job. 5 out of 5. Getaway. 29 out of 30. Fantastic song. Next up is a song that closes out side 1 on the album. This song is actually worth 35 points. So Ace Frehley wrote the intro to this song. Paul Stanley wrote the song itself. Now the intro, in my opinion, it could stand alone. I think it's fantastic on its own. It's almost 2 minutes long. Almost. It's like a minute 55 or a minute 57, somewhere in there. It's a nice, interesting piece of music. It's just 2 guitars. I believe they're playing acoustic. Otherwise, they're playing an electric on a clean channel. Sounds acoustic to me, though. live they play it clean. Uh, 5 out of 5 for that intro. Just brilliant. Now let's get into the song itself. The lyrics, story most people can relate to. By the way, did I say this is Rock Bottom? Written by Ace Frehley and Paul Stanley? I don't think I said it was Rock Bottom. Most people can relate to being down and out, hard times. Honestly, I thought I was going to dock this song for the lyrics, but when I listened to it again, 5 out of 5. Perfect lyrics for this song. The vocals, Paul Stanley has a fantastic lead vocal on this song. Once again, the harmonies right on point, just like most of their songs. 5 out of 5. The drums. This is where it kind of falls a little bit short. It's not bad. It's actually really good. The beat is fun. It does a great job drumming, but it's not much more than just keeping time. So he gets a 4 out of 5 for the drums. The bass, it complements the guitars nicely. Again, not quite perfect. 4 out of 5 on the bass. The rhythm guitar, it's simple, it's fun, it's straightforward, it fits the song, it's a 5 out of 5. The lead guitar, the solo is short, but it's all ace. I mean, the solo is fantastic. 5 out of 5. So Rock Bottom, like I said, it's worth 35 points. Unlike everything else, it's worth 30. It gets a 33 out of 35. Now, as we flip the record over, let's go to one of my all-time favorite songs. One that, if I wasn't dissecting it, I might have given a perfect score to. But trying to be fair and dissecting the songs the way I do using my methodology, Paul Stanley wrote and sang a song called Come On and Love Me. One of my all-time favorites. The lyrics, a whole lot of fun, great visual, tells a great story. 5 out of 5 on the lyrics. The vocals, this is why I don't consider this song perfect, or it's one of the two reasons why I don't consider the song perfect. Paul Stanley's lead vocal is fantastic. If it was just Paul Stanley singing the song, it would be a 5 out of 5. What gets me, though, is the harmony vocals. Gene kind of overpowers Paul in the chorus. And I think that's kind of a detraction a little bit. 4 out of 5 on the vocals. Really good, but I don't like Gene overpowering Paul like that. The drums, it's overall great drumming. The only thing is that there's a couple of spots where it could use a fill that it's not there. He's just keeping time where there could be a fill. So he gets a 4 out of 5. The bass, the groove is just absolutely stellar, killer, fantastic. It's great alongside the guitars and the drums. 5 out of 5 on the bass. The rhythm guitar sounds very Beatles inspired to me, which would make sense because you've heard me say it before, and I'll probably say it again in the future. They were very inspired by the Beatles. 5 out of 5 rhythm guitar. Lead guitar. There's some great licks going on in this song. There are 3 different solos. One in the intro, there's your main solo, and then there's one at the end of the song. Now, that first solo, that intro solo, is actually played by Paul Stanley. And I think it's fantastic. That's actually his first lead guitar work. Some sources will say that Paul did all the lead guitars on this song. Listening to it, I don't believe that because the other 2 solos just sound too much like Ace Frehley. stylistically. I mean, just the phrasing of the solos sounds too much like Ace, but still, the fact that they trade off lead guitars like that, Paul in the beginning and then Ace later, 5 out of 5, giving Come On and Love Me a score of 28 out of 30. Next up is another song written by Paul Stanley, another one where he sings lead. It's called Anything for My Baby. The lyrics, not bad. Not on par with Paul's other songs, particularly on the album. Actually, the lyrics are pretty good. It might be getting docked, and I didn't intentionally dock it in comparison to Paul's other lyrics. That may have been a subconscious thing, but it still gets a 4 out of 5, so it's really good. The vocals, the harmonies are right on point. They're fantastic. In fact, it starts off with the chorus and those harmonies right away. Where it gets me, though, is, once again, Paul Stanley being kind of the weak link here. The lead vocals sound strained at times. 4 out of 5, though. I mean, it's still a really good song, vocally speaking. The drums, in my opinion, are the highlight of the song. Just fantastic. I mean, that intro, that drum intro, it's going to remind you of another song that I'll guarantee you've heard, and we're going to get to that one. Actually, we'll get to it on this album. Those of you who know the album know exactly which song I'm talking about. For those of you who don't, just wait. We'll get to it. 5 out of 5 on the drums. The bass does a good job holding it all together. Not quite perfect in my opinion, but it does get a 4 out of 5. The rhythm guitar, it's got a fun chord progression to it. It's got a very Stones, Beatles feel to it. Again, that makes sense. 4 out of 5. The lead guitar, there's nothing of significance there. There's no solo, nothing to write home about. I think it's unfair to knock it down to a 1 or a 2, but you can't give it a 4 or a 5 either, just because there's nothing of any significance. 3 out of 5. Next up, a song written by Gene Simmons and an outside writer, Steve Coronel. Steve Coronel, he was in a band with Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons before they formed Kiss. That band was called Wicked Lester. This song is a holdover from the Wicked Lester days. And let's go ahead and get into it. The lyrics conjures up kind of a mysticism. Really kind of dark and cats again. Anybody want one? Just kidding. I wouldn't give them up for anything. They're vague enough. The lyrics are vague enough in this song that you can interpret them. You know, they're open for interpretation, but there's still a great visual there. Kind of mysterious a little bit. 5 out of 5 on the lyrics. The vocals, throughout the entire song, it's Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley singing harmony, just the whole song through. And Gene is the dominant voice, but that makes sense because this song was just, well, he wrote it, and I think it is a better fit for his voice. So 5 out of 5 on the vocals. The drums, nothing really flashy, but it's kind of a dark song, so you don't want a whole lot of flash there. Um, just perfect for the song, especially during the breakdown, which I'll get to here in a minute. 5 out of 5. The bass. The bass is also fantastic throughout the song. Again, especially in that breakdown. It's the drums and the bass, and that's all you can hear. And just fantastic. 5 out of 5. The rhythm guitar, this drives the song right here. Just that main riff. You can't get it out of your head. At least I can't. 5 out of 5. Lead guitar. It's got a very haunting sound in the opening solo at the beginning of the song. And throughout the song, there's some interesting slides and bends that are going on there, some great licks. It's not overly flashy. Again, overly flashy wouldn't fit in this song. Fantastic licks, though. Some of what he plays over that last verse, just great. The main solo and the outro solo, fantastic. 5 out of 5, making She the second 30 out of 30 song on this album. Let's go ahead and get into another song written by Paul Stanley. Another Wicked Lester holdover. This one's called Love Her All I Can. The lyrics, reminiscent of early Beatles. A little bit too repetitive, but still very well written. It's the repetition that makes it less than perfect, but it's still a 4 out of 5, so really good. The vocals, once again, the harmonies. Actually, the band sings. The harmonies are during the verse, and Paul sings the chorus by himself. So that's a nice twist. Harmonies are right on point. Paul singing alone during the chorus, just fantastic. 5 out of 5. The drums, some interesting little nuances there, some great fills going on. I give it a 5 out of 5. The bass, it's got a brilliant groove, matches the drums, and it's almost like a third guitar. 5 out of 5. The rhythm guitar. This, to me, is the highlight of the song, especially that opening riff. But there's some great riffs throughout. 5 out of 5. And the lead, there's some great little lead riffs and licks. What sounds like they might be little slides during the verse. A great solo that carries over into the next verse. A great outro solo. 5 out of 5. So Love Her All I Can is a 29 out of 30. Next up, if you remember, I mentioned on Anything for My Baby that there was a song that you would recognize the drum beat. Last song on the album. The one song by Kiss that everybody knows. Rock and Roll All Night. Written by Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons. Gene Simmons takes the lead vocal on this song. This song, they like to refer to it as the rock and roll national anthem. The lyrics, very simple, but not overly simplistic. They're fun, but come on. simple as these lyrics are, if you've never heard this song and sang along with it, you've never heard this song. That's all there is to it. Everybody sings with this song. And if you don't, it's because you've never heard it. Guaranteed. Because they're not overly simplistic and because it's such a fantastic sing-along, 4 out of 5 on the lyrics. By the way, I don't think I mentioned it. This was actually a hybrid song of something that Paul Stanley had started writing and something Gene Simmons started writing, and they kind of meshed them together. And the reason for that is Neil Bogart, the president of Casablanca, said, hey, look, you guys need an anthem. You need a song that really stands out, tells the world what you're all about. So they put those two songs together, rock and roll all night and party every day. Let's get into the vocals here. Gene is clearly having fun with this, and the harmony's on point. And again, it's got the sing-along and just brilliant. Brilliant on the vocals. So 5 out of 5. The drums, it's got that iconic intro. Keeps the song fun. Pretty simple, though, throughout. But moves the song along. The song itself is pretty simple, so that's fine. 4 out of 5 for the drums. The bass, this is probably the most overlooked part of this song. I mean, just listen. Isolate just the bass and listen to that. It's fantastic. Once again, if you've ever needed proof that Gene Simmons is an underrated bassist, pick up these first 3 Kiss albums. 5 out of 5 on the bass. The rhythm guitar, it's just a fun, standard rock and roll riff. You know it. You've heard it. 4 out of 5. The lead guitar. Now, if this was the live version, this would score higher. But just like on Anything for My Baby, there's nothing of note. There's no solo. Nothing special. 3 out of 5. So Rock and Roll All Night, a song that everybody knows, everybody loves, everybody sings along with, scores a 25 out of a possible 30 points here. So, how does that put Dressed to Kill overall? Well, the acoustic intro on Rock Bottom, 5 out of 5. The lyrics get a 43 out of 50. The vocals, a 47 out of 50. The drums, a 46 out of 50. The bass is a 48 out of 50. The rhythm guitar is a 49 out of 50. The lead guitar is a 46 out of 50, and that got docked because of 2 songs. The total is 284 out of a possible 305. Little simple division, and you get a 9.3 out of 10 for Dressed to Kill. So you've got just a stellar album here. Not quite perfect. Then again, is any album absolutely perfect? I don't know. We'll see as we go along, maybe. Fantastic album from a fantastic band. Once again, shows that they're not given the credit that they deserve as musicians. But that's my opinion. What's yours? Comments. Let me know. Share, subscribe. Hit the ding-a-ling-a-ling bell. Go ahead and like this video. And I'll come out with something else is coming really soon. So stay tuned.